Ian, where are you?
Hi.
At the beach?
I'm at Clough.
Oh,
I'm out in the field. I'm taking apart rusted out soccer goals so that they can haul them away tomorrow.
well, lucky you.
'Cause they're gonna kill us if we don't get these out of here. So figure it's the least we could do. All right. So
Ian, I'm not sure that I am in a position to run the meeting, so I don't know if you want to go ahead and open it.
Me?
yeah. So I started the recording.
I can't run
I
the
guess we can
meeting.
open the meeting.
No, I don't think I can either.
I know I can't. I
So-
definitely can't run it because I'm just not anything right now.
Right.
So
You're
it could
good.
be
well,
one of the other. It could be Janice or Connie or Dan. If you can't do it, Kathy,
So yeah, I started the recording, so we're all
Okay.
good.
we're good.
All
So I
right.
don't know if we want to talk about the minutes that Kathy sent first and just get those out of the way.
That'd be a great idea.
So 427, 629, and 7 something that won't scroll all the way over on my phone.
Okay, I couldn't
7:10.
get them downloaded. I couldn't download them.
Oh, I looked at them. They were fine.
All right, well,
Connie,
we
I read them and they were fine.
have an
Well,
exact quorum, so
I would
if we
approve
can't all
them.
vote on them, then we can't vote on them. So if, I guess it's up to Janice if she's okay voting on them or not.
Yeah, I'm sure they're fine. I just can't get them downloaded.
Dan,
It says
with
it's a
three
zip, it says it's
quorum,
a zip drive or something. What does that mean?
I don't know, it was an email that had the 3 Word docs attached to it. But maybe if you're on a mobile device, it's doing something weird, I don't know.
It says download all attachment as a zip file. I don't know what that is.
Oh. Yeah, don't do that. You probably will get a look at each one individually.
Okay, I tried to do that.
do you want me
but
to
they won't
send them
let me do
again, Janice?
as separately? I mean, I don't know if do you have to send them the same way? Oh, wait. Maybe I can do it. Hold on. Okay, I got it. All right.
Somebody,
Right.
Does somebody have a bird?
Connie, that might be you. There you go.
Uh-oh.
Sounds
Is that
we're
your
in a
dog?
zoo.
July 10th looks fine.
Okay.
You back it up, Margot. Is that your meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, the
Where-
July 10th. They're both the July 10th. Okay.
You okay over here?
I don't know. I'm supposed to be making mashed potatoes.
Why can't,
Let me just, while we're doing that. What else was on the agenda? Just this property?
There was the. So
629.
the
If
first
you
one
wanna
was the
talk about
minutes. The third item was discuss the draft letter to the select board. Old business was continue the public hearing for 29 Thornton Street. As we've got Mr. Alves on here, it's probably a good idea to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. If Janet, if you're still looking at the minutes, then let's come back to those and close
Yeah,
out
two
or
of
whatever
them
we're gonna
look
do with
fine.
this
I
hearing.
couldn't get the third. Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine though.
Well, so are you good then if I make a motion to approve the 3 minutes?
Yeah.
All right, so does someone want to second that?
I'll second.
Then all in
all
favor?
in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye. All right, and
Did we
then
get a-
I guess
did we
since
get
he's
an
here,
aye
why don't
from
we
Connie?
talk about what?
Did we get an eye from Connie?
I
Connie,
don't
are
know.
you
Are you
with
there,
us?
Connie?
Connie did say before that she thought everything was okay with them. Does that count? Sounds like she might be having problems getting on, so.
Yeah. All right, well, you know, we can move the vote to the end of the meeting. Janice, do you want to go over your meeting with Brad Green and Joe? I don't know if you've met with him yet, but
Did you say Joe is on?
yeah, Joe is on. Yeah.
Here.
Okay.
How
I
are
don't
you?
know if Joe met. Hi, Joe. Did you get? And you were going to get in touch with Brad and meet with him by yourself. Did that happen?
Yeah, we spoke over. We spoke over the phone and had I didn't get a chance to meet him at the property because he's busy. He's a couple weeks out. There's an issue with that, obviously, because we can't be waiting around. Unfortunately, I missed the meeting the other day. We didn't see anything besides the basement. So we did have a good conversation about what different possibilities and everything. But like I discussed over the phone the other day, he's if we were to hire somebody like him, they're years out, and the budget, but based on what I discussed with the builders and him and so forth, we don't have the means to wait 2 years and.
Oh, that wasn't. I thought he could provide the expertise in terms of kind of outlining what would have to be done. The cost and whether it could be salvaged. Which he
Oh, he
had
did.
thought
Yeah,
it
we
could
did.
be.
Yeah,
We
did speak.
Yeah, and I thought you were going to
We
meet
had
with
about
him.
our conversation over the phone. This was right after he came to the property
Right.
last week.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, but
but
then I thought you were going to meet with him to go through the rest of the house.
well, we were supposed to, but he has no time. So this is a few days later. We tried to schedule a meeting, but he's a couple of weeks out. He was supposed to get back to me, let me know when he's going to be available, come back to the house, but he still hasn't. So
I see.
at this point, we're just burning time and cash. It's well, like I said, I don't see the possibility of us, getting anybody to do this in a budget that we can afford. Granted,
So are you thinking of selling it then?
if we can get our money back, yes. The problem is we've priced it out with the agents, and I don't think we can get. There's nobody out there that will give us the money that we need, just to break even. That's without tearing it down. That's keeping it the way it is, because now we have the expense of obviously real estate fees and so forth. And we've already held on to the property for 8 months, and we've had expenses since then, clearing out the house and so forth. So I'm not sure. I'm open to opinions, but I can't wait 6 months or 2 years or 3 years to get this going. We can put it on the market. If it sells within a few weeks or a month, that's fine. If it doesn't sell, and it has to sell for at least what we paid for it, plus the fees, and plus the expenses we incur, which at this point would be a substantial amount of money, which we, obviously we didn't anticipate have to demo, and we didn't anticipate having the issues that we're having. We thought it was gonna be a quick rehab and move on, but that's not the case.
Joe,
I
a
don't-
couple of
I don't think
questions.
anything's ever quick with an old house.
What's that?
I said nothing is ever quick with an old house.
No, but I've done a few, and this is absolutely the worst we've seen. So unfortunately, it wasn't my decision in the beginning. So I'm the one who's got the money invested, and I got to get out of it somehow. It's been 8 months, and I'm the one paying the taxes and insurance, and obviously the cost of cleaning it out because it was left with a lot of trash. And at this point, we're just we're in limbo here because obviously we tried to figure out what we're going to do as far as renovations. We can come to there's definitely no way we can do it and make it work and come out unscathed. If we do, we're just going to be burying more money. To be honest with you, and it's just going to get worse and worse for us at this point.
So how much did you think you were going to be able to sell it for?
What do you mean? If we rebuild it? If we renovate it?
If you renovated it, yes. If you renovated it.
We need to be in the 500s to even make money, to even come out, to break even, because we're into it for over 300 already, probably close to 325 with all the expenses we've had so far, and we haven't even touched it yet.
Yeah.
So, and we priced it out, we got all the subs in there to try to get some pricing. Some of them could care less about giving. They don't want to bother with it because it's too much work for them. They don't even want to bother with it. So we can't even get them to give us a price.
What's he addressing?
At this, I'm wondering because we have a gentleman that's going to be working in Mendon on another project, and it is a historic project, but I'm wondering if it's worth a call to Armando, who's going to be out here next week, to have him take a look, because Armando doesn't have the same time restraints as Brad Green would have. He is he's got a great, record of, rehabbing old houses. And I'm wondering, Joe, are we looking at, you're not really looking, let's say that you were
So
looking for
I'll be honest with you. I have a partner, right? So Mike is experienced. He's got, almost 50 years of building experience. If he can't do it, and he's the one who encouraged me that we could salvage that house, who I'm not sure who can. And he's the expert on this.
I think
obviously he doesn't do historic homes all the time, but if I don't know if you've seen some of his work, but he's done historical houses. And obviously, if he can't do it, if we can't break even with him partnering with me, I don't know who can. You know what I mean? Who's going to come in and take on a job like that? And there's already 2 or 3 people involved. I'm not sure who can do it, to be honest with you, at this point.
Well, I'm sorry.
Is he unable to
dog.
do the beam work in the basement then, or is Mike unable to do the beam work in the basement?
Mike doesn't want to touch the basement. No, he started. He's the one who planned and said that we could probably do something with it, but he doesn't want to touch it. We brought Wally in. He came in with we brought probably 30 people in there ready to, to try to give us ideas. This is before even we decided to get a demo permit. Because the demo is going to cost us probably $35,000-$40,000. So that's not on the budget. So imagine if we're considering demoing, what the cost of actually salvaging would be. It's based on price and preliminary pricing that I got the other day, they're getting $600 a foot just to move beams, old beams in the basement. Forget about the rest of the house, that's, and they still have to replace the old ones, the ones that are not salvageable. And there's very limited people that can actually do that work. And they're getting, again, they're behind, like everybody else, schedule. And they're getting quite a bit of money where we don't have the money to spend on that. We'll gladly sell it and not make a dime, even lose money if we can get rid of it and somebody has ideas and they want to take it over. Believe me, we've tried it. We try to put it on the market. Nobody wants to touch it. We're the only crazy ones.
I
Mike,
think-
oh, sorry, go ahead, Lynn.
I think that we're looking at a different market to what we were looking at a while ago. I mean, there are so many people out there now that are snapping up properties to reno and to flip and make money on. Unfortunately, this particular property is not really a suitable candidate for that. I mean, it's got to be somebody who is very interested in the historic home. I mean, the purchase price, bearing in mind the amount of work that had to be done on it, was high to begin with. And then, you know, if you're looking at a couple of $100,000 to put into it, you're not really going to get any more than you would any other 4-bedroom, and I'm not even sure if it's a 2-bathroom house. The listing says that it was 1 bathroom, but then the detail says it's 2. So, you know, I think
There's nothing there. There was half a bath probably in the basement, in the first floor. That was it. The place was being, they tried to renovate the house 25 years ago. I'm assuming because of the age on the supplies they had up there for 25 years.
yeah.
And they gave up on it. So
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think people sit on it waiting for, you know, prices to go up and the land to value in the hope of just, you know, tearing it down. It's a difficult market right now because you could put 200,000 to 250, 300,000 in it and not make your money back. So I get what you're saying. It is a difficult time right now, but
there's, you know, it's difficult because first of all, you know, labor is expensive, materials are expensive.
Yep.
This is regular labor, you know, not historical renovation labor.
Right.
You know, that requires a specialty or a person that knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which we thought we could do something with it. Obviously, when we bought it,
Yeah.
almost 8 months ago. But apparently that's not the case because it's the house is too far gone. You know, it's been closed and let go for
Yeah.
too many years.
Mm-hmm.
It's an old house already, and it was neglected. You know, for
Yeah.
who knows how long. I mean, I'm assuming they tried to renovate it 25 years ago, and they gave up. So it must have been already, you know, neglected from 40 years ago. Who knows? I don't know the history of it, but. And
Joe,
obviously, our intention was not to demo. Our intention was to fix. You know, and then obviously things change because there's not much to save. You know, there's not a lot that we can. You know, we can save some material, and try to do something with it either structurally or we can try to do something with it cosmetically. You know, to try to keep the charm. You know, that's our intention. But you know, besides that, there's really not much to save. You know, it's either termite damage or water damage or whatever it might be. So even if you save 25% of the lumber in there, you still have to get 75% of lumber to make it look the same way that they did before. That's impossible. You know?
Yeah.
That's impossible. If we had 75% of it was good, all right, 25% of it we can try to fix. And keep everything else, but it's the opposite. We thought we were 25% of. We thought it was the other way around. You know, 25% damage, then we can repair and make it look historical. You know, we had plans for the fireplace, renovate that. You know, try to fix it. But it's just too far gone.
Joe, I think I missed the amount that you felt you were going to need in order to recover what you've spent already and the cost of the home. What was that figure again?
Well, a typical renovation for a place that size for us, and we've done quite a few of them. We'd be spending probably $250,000, right? On today's market, labor market and material costs to bring it up to living standards. Not
So,
extravagant, but to live, to you know, to make it livable and safe. That's including septic, water, everything else that it needs. So that has nothing, it has no septic, no well, no utilities. So that's including that. And that's basic, that's the start, right? And believe me, we've done some where we budgeted for 250 and we ended up spending 300.
Right,
so-
right. And that's typical in construction. I
Yeah,
think the
that
market's
happens every day.
a little unpredictable. So,
Uh,
no, I think what I was asking was if you were to sell it now and just step out of the project completely, what would be the price you would need in order for you to cover what you spent on it so far?
well,
Including
we
the
need to get
purchase
at least the purchase price and expense. We're into it for 325 grand already. About that.
All right.
And it's a beautiful lot. Don't get me wrong. That's why we bought it. We thought it was a beautiful lot. The house was beautiful. Had a lot of, we thought we could do something with it. Good location. Unfortunately, once you start moving all the furniture and all the junk, then you realize that there's a lot more to it than, and that, believe me, that's happened to us a million times. Except this one was extreme.
Yeah, it's definitely a much older home. It definitely speaks 1700. So, we're looking at a completely different bird when it comes to construction and construction needs. Would you be willing to let me have Armando swing by next week and just take a quick peek at the property?
Yep, as long as we can do it quickly, and try, because we got to try to figure this out. Like we discussed before, the longer this goes on, the more we're just burning money, and we're not doing anything right now, so we're still waiting. So by the time we actually plan something, regardless of what we do, and start, this is going to bring us to the winter season, and then we're in trouble. We're going to be holding this house until next year, and that's going to be
Understood. Yeah. Yeah, and that, I mean, I think we've discussed this before, but we are at, ticking 3 of the 4 boxes on this property for demolition delay. And, we would much rather find a solution to putting, the delay on the property. So, I mean, I think if we make an honest effort and let's just do one more shot at it, let's see what we can figure out.
All right, sounds good. Just check, see if we can schedule him to come and take a look at it.
Okay,
As soon
I
as
know he's
possible,
gonna, I know he's gonna be in Mendon at 3:00 on Thursday. We're gonna be working with him at a building in the center of town that, I'd love to show you that basement. You want to talk about horrible, but anyways, yeah, like I said, he's got a lot of construction experience and he's done a lot of huge projects. So, he might be somebody that has it in his wheelhouse to, either make a recommendation for us or, he may even be interested. We don't know.
Okay.
But if we can, if we can cross that bridge with him next week, then I think we can, we'll hook up again and, see if we can wrap up the conversation.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, just keep me posted.
right.
I'll mark it down for 3. All right, I'll save some time for Thursday, and then if we can schedule it, we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
I'm
And
open
Joe,
to-
do you want? Go
As long
ahead.
as we don't, it doesn't drag on for too long, because it's costing me money,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Joe, would you like me to call you Tuesday just to remind you?
Yeah, absolutely. If you could, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll do that. That sounds great. Well, we appreciate your cooperation. You're helping us, see if we can come up with this solution.
Sure, I'm open to solutions too. Believe me.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Have a good night.
So just before he leaves too, should we set another date?
You know what? Let's see where Armando is next week, and then we can set up something, and
Okay,
well, why don't we set up a date, and then we'll just check in Joe. Maybe at the end of the
I
meeting,
mean,
we'll set
that's
the
fine
date
too.
and we can-
Yeah,
I'll just communicate.
see where we're at. I mean, if
Yeah.
he can take a look at it, I
'Cause
mean, I
we'll-
hate
we'll
to
be an
say, I think
audit.
it kind of sounds like, you know, the economics aren't going to work out regardless of who owns
they-
it at some point.
I mean, like I said, when I looked at this, they paid high. And I mean, unfortunately, sometimes people pay high on a property. They're looking at it and seeing it as, a great opportunity to build a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that in Mendon is going to sell for, 550, something like that. And you can do that with a lot of like 20th century houses, go even like 1920s, the infrastructure's there that you can actually build a lot better. But with this house, this was not, I had someone contact me about it. And it's not really ideal for someone who's looking to do a quick reno. It's not that kind of house.
Right. What,
How much- how
Lynn,
much
what
does
would,
it cost? How much does it cost to build a new house from scratch?
Excuse me?
How much would it cost to build a new house from scratch?
Well, that's like saying how long's a piece of string. I mean, it's like, if you're looking at rebuilding like a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house,
Right.
if it's a 2-story home, you're probably looking somewhere at least in the region of, if you're looking in Mendon and they've got to buy the lot, and then trust me, they're not selling lots cheap either. The actual
Well, no,
land
no.
in Mendon is expensive. You're looking at least somewhere in the region of, they would be selling a new construction 4-bed, 2-bath for probably somewhere in about the 630 to 650.
Okay, so because my question is, when you look at, okay, so they've already put like, let's say 350 into it, and if you're saying the top they're going to sell at 650, then do you really have enough to construct a brand new house? I guess that's my question.
Oh,
I mean,
somebody, they will be, what's going to happen here is that somebody is actually going to buy that property, and you're going to have this back on your books for demolishing again in a couple of months if they sell it. Because unless, there is just no way, even with that property on there, unless you're planning on building something outrageous and, living in it, then, the amount of work and money you've got to put into it in with an existing house is far more than it would be to actually, buy the piece of land and put a new house up there. Because it sounds to me like with the beams in the basement that aren't doing very well, you are literally building a new house, because you're going to need to redo like the foundation. I mean, and that's without, they're going to want to take walls down with an 1800s house. You don't know what you're going to find in there.
money?
We would like, wouldn't we? Maybe we should go up there with that metal detector and see what's up there.
Yeah, I want to know where Norman Rogers stashed all his books and his money.
There we go. Well, maybe we need to go find out.
Well, I think it's worth at least letting Armando take a look at this.
Oh, sure.
It's too bad that Brad Green doesn't know somebody that's looking to rehab and live in, to an old house. I mean, he must know people. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
I mean, the other thing that's tough on this one is, like I said in my report to you guys, this is a 4-bed, potentially 2-bathroom house. The listing wasn't clear. But if you're looking at a 4-bedroom house, you need to put a septic in. You are looking minimum like 35,000 just for the septic. And this guy has got to sell this property or tear it down or whatever, because, he's going to have to do something with the septic within that year, because he bought it with a failed septic. So,
okay.
The Board of Health will need to know something about it. So, I mean, in top of, if you start to think of, the money he's already invested at 325, and then add on, say, by the time you've done engineering plans and you've put a 4-bedroom septic in there, he's going to be at 360, and that's before he's even opened the front door to remove it.
Yeah,
It would be a tough one.
Any property that they put in there, I mean, if they're going to have to remedy that septic, it's going to look awful on that lot.
I very much doubt if they would renovate any septic, they would just put a new one in. They'd relocate it. I
Yeah,
would think. I would think they would, yeah. Because you don't even know what septic you've got in there. It was 1800s. Who knows what it is?
right. And
Yeah, if there's no
there's
septic
nothing,
plan on file, it's probably just a cesspool.
That's what I'm
Okay.
thinking. Yeah.
all right. Well, that's all good information to know.
Well, it's good to get someone, the sad thing is that, people are buying properties, as we all know, to flip. And because and the market is changing. When you pay 300,000 for a house that's in this state of repair, you really know if you've got to put 200,000 in there, you are not going to be making the profits that you're making on $100,000 house. And
Sounds
you've
a
got
lot.
a lot more materials and you've got a lot more work involved. And with an old house, it's specialist work. So that's what we're seeing an awful lot with the flipping market is there's no houses out there for people to buy, because a lot of the ones that are left are older and need a lot more work. I mean, this is going to need completely new electrics, completely new plumbing. And that's before they start even looking to see what's in the floors or the walls or anything else. I mean, a new roof, all of that kind of stuff. I mean, anybody that pays 300,000 for a house like that and expects to be able to, flip it for 100,000, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
Well, and this house only has the outside walls. All the inside walls are down already.
But then you've got to rebuild them, and then you've got to
They only
get
the-
specialist
it's only
people
the
in.
outside. Yeah.
You've got
and
to,
just-
you can't do anything
Yeah,
with them.
Right. Yeah.
It's a tough one
So,
because,
This
I
is
would
a
love
tough
to save
one.
everything, but it's a very tough one.
Well, it's very tough with what he's got into it and what it's gonna probably cost to
Exactly,
renovate.
Connie.
Yeah.
Exactly. This man is on a hide into nothing because he's already in. He's already in
Yes.
so much money,
He's in-
and you can just hear in his voice, he does not want to spend any more money on it. And I don't blame him because,
I don't
is he
blame
going to
him
get anything back?
Right. Yeah.
It's true.
But I think having Armando come see it, Armando might know somebody that, might be interested in who's looking for a place like this. And if they're going to keep holding on to this, hoping to sell it, he's saying now he wants to incorporate the real estate fees into it. That's another, 35,000. If he wants to do something like that, he's going to be sitting on this property forever because he's not even going to be able to sell it, let alone get a demolition delay on it. So Armando might know somebody that would be prepared to come in and, they have to take a loss on this one, and who knows? But I think
Yeah.
I don't think us holding them up is going to do any good on that.
No.
But having said that, I don't want to see the house go.
I know. Well, it's sad all the way around, but at one point I think he was thinking of keeping it himself or put a family member in it. Whether he still wants to do that or not, I don't know.
Well, that would have been the thing that made sense.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
Because he might have to spend the money and just hold it longer term or forever for himself.
right.
Um,
Well, and if
but-
you're going to live in it, if you can live in it and do the important things like, the structural things, the septic, the electrics, the plumbing, if you're going to put that amount of money into it and live in it, then you can do other work as you go along. But,
Right.
that's what you've got to do. That's what anybody that has the old houses knows. It's no one's sitting here with $1 million. Well, apart from that person in California that won Powerball.
right.
No
That's right.
one's sitting here with a couple of 100,000 in their pocket that they can afford to do that kind of work on their house.
Right.
Lynn,
so
would you
it's-
call that guy?
Pardon?
Would you mind calling the guy that just won the Powerball?
I would,
You wouldn't
Kathy,
give
but
it
I'm
to
not
who
part of the commission and I don't want to usurp anybody else.
Gotcha. Okay. You don't want to share. It's all right. I get it.
No, he might like me.
Uh, All right, well, I, thank you, Lynn, because I think your input really, helped shed some extra light on this whole thing. And yeah, I don't think any of us are quite prepared to lose it, but, we may be forced into that if we can't find an alternative. So,
Yeah.
all right. All right, what's next on the agenda?
Can
Did
I just say,
everybody get
can I finally say one thing there? We're also looking at this as this is what, wants to be done. We also don't know if anybody else has given him any other information about what he could sell the lot for or make money or anything else. He could all of a sudden split that lot and put 2 houses up and then he's going to make money. Do you know what I mean? You don't know what other advice he's been given.
How
I don't
much
think he
He
could,
just
because
knows
it's
he
just
wants
over,
to.
it's just over a little over an acre, right? So I don't think he could put 2 houses on it without a variance.
Well, and I mean,
Don't you
that's
need
what's
an acre
happening
and
on
a
North
half for
Ave.
a building? Pardon me?
North Ave, they're putting 2 houses in there that I thought was only one.
2 houses where?
North Avenue.
Oh, that
You
new
know, there
house
was
before the Tory house?
right. And there's
The
2
one
then.
beside
There's
the
2
Tory?
foundations going in there.
Yeah,
So
but I
I
thought
don't
maybe
know.
one was for, I thought maybe one was a house and one was a barn.
I don't know.
One's way over to the side of the lot, where you might have thought it might have gone more in the middle or something, and maybe not way over to the side. But I don't know, it might be another outbuilding,
Could be.
like
It
a
could
barn
be.
or or detached garage or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know, but I thought Mendon's building code was like, I thought it was an acre and you had to have an acre and a half for a buildable lot. Does anyone know what the current,
It's 200 feet and 60,000 square feet, but they can claim hardships and all sorts of things. It really
Yeah.
depends. Like if they have backland but no frontage, they can get a variance. If they have, like, there's some historic subdivisions. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember this lot.
yeah,
If the total lot size isn't that big, then it probably can't be a 2-family.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm thinking it can't be, I don't think it can be 2 houses. I think you could take this one down and put 1. I could be wrong, but,
Right.
unless you got a
Right.
variance.
Unfortunately, I think like you're saying, it sounds like even if they end up selling it, we're going to be right back having the same exact conversation, unless
Right, yeah,
somebody miraculously wants to somehow invest in this property.
yeah. Yeah. What would be best for Joe if someone wanted to take and move the house off and they pay for that and then Joe have the empty lot and start fresh, But I don't know if anyone's gonna wanna do that, and even to move this house would take a lot of money to shore it up before you could even move it. So,
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
but anyway,
unfortunately, it
I
seems like what we found out, there's no
yeah,
market for that either.
right. Right. So it does seem, well, see what Amon says, and then we'll go from there. So did we decide to set up a date we got to continue the hearing to another date, right?
Yeah, and I think, I mean, he's agreed to the extensions, but I do think at some point, we have to render a decision. I mean, we're fortunate he's been
Right.
cooperative,
Right.
but we can't just stall this for months and months.
Well, probably
So I
whenever we
mean,
set the
unless,
next meeting, we really have to have a decision after we get Armando's feedback, right?
maybe somebody we can get, maybe he has some suggestions that could convince him that this won't be as expensive as he's fearing, but
Oh, I think it will. Yeah.
I think it might be more expensive than he's fearing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think,
hmm,
I mean, you're talking a lot.
Yep.
The well, septic, and basically like building a whole new house and all new electric in it and all plumbing in it. And right now, the way it sits, it's more like the downstairs is 2 rooms and a small little boarding room, and then the addition on the back, which is like a kitchen. And upstairs, the stairway's in the middle of the house, and really, it's like 2 rooms on either side of the stairway for the size rooms people are used to. You might get 3 bedrooms on the 2nd floor, but you won't get 4 bedrooms on there. And then you're talking, you'd have to have another room up in the attic, or a room or 2 in the attic to get 4 bedrooms out of it. So,
Yeah.
and they did have a room up in the attic already sectioned off that had been used as a room, but then it's right up in the attic. But there's the same stairwell that's walkable up to the attic, but wouldn't meet current code, but it'd be grandfathered since if it was reno. But I would think 250, 300 minimum you'd have to put into it to rebuild it. So
Definitely.
and I don't know what Brad said, but anyways, so
He talked about the basement, and he thought probably 100,000 in the basement for all the beam work, but it could be done.
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
Yeah, this guy's going to
Uh,
lose his shirt on this one if he tries to reno it.
Yeah.
Well.
So I mean, I hate to see it go too, but if the financial picture doesn't fit, I wouldn't be opposed to agreeing to a delay, to a demo, but and especially after one more try to see if there's something we could do, or if we could find someone who might want the property or something. But that's just my opinion. 100K in the basement, you might spend 100K on the 1st floor, you might spend 100K on the 3rd floor. Oh well.
Well, I think
that's all
it's
I
too
have to
bad.
say on that.
I think it's too bad that the other guy didn't come to meet Brad when he came, because the 2 of them, if he's the expert in construction, the 2 of them would have had a much better discussion.
Right. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Janice, these people want to make money, and
Right.
they will work with you, and they're very, very nice people, I'm sure, but they are not in it because they love an 1800s house. They're in it to make money. And when you are there every month and that house is sitting there and you've got nothing going on, it just, as if you can't get that place done in like 3 months, then you start to get into trouble, because he's
Yeah.
obviously carrying a mortgage or a loan or something on it.
Right.
And he's seeing that chip away every month. Even if he started work tomorrow, he's been sitting and he's got losses that he's got to try and make up, and that's without even getting his contractors and a general contractor in and everything else. And Brad, I'm sure, is an absolutely wonderful, I mean, I've spoken to him a couple of times, he's a really nice guy. But flippers are different people. I mean, they want to make money. So, I can't see this being viable any which way. Like I said, unless the guy from California comes and sees it, can't see it.
Yeah, and Brad backed up for 2 years. So even if his company was going to take it on, they can't do it for 2 years.
And then they've got 2 years carrying costs before they start doing any work.
No, he was there to try and tell the guy what he saw, if the house could be redeemed, what had to be done, and help him look through and give him a chronology of what he should do. It wasn't for him to come and do it.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
Well,
The consulting was on that. That's correct. But then the other point is, if Joe did want to do that and have it done and wanted Brad's company to do it, they can't even do it for 2 years. That's all.
Right.
But I mean,
That's
he could
right.
hire someone else. He could hire someone else
Right.
if he knew what needed to be done, right?
Right.
And it would depend on how close they would keep it to historic. They really used historic beams, or if they went with lamb beams and stuff like that, or steel or something for sure, and steel I-beams or laminated beams that are still expensive, but may not be as expensive as some of the old style post and beam beams. But anyways, it's hard all the way around.
Yep.
I didn't get the impression that Joe was necessarily had started off thinking of this as a flipper. I think he was thinking of it as himself. Or he even said he might put his parents in this house if he could rent over it, or himself. So I don't know that he totally was looking at it from a complete flipper mindset. But at any rate, he's had eight months. He's held it now, with not really getting much done toward renovating. So do we? Are we gonna set a date now for continuing on 29 Thornton after who's coming in, Armando? Next
Yeah,
week, or we have to wait?
Armando is
And
going to
who
be
was-
here next week.
Oh, he's the one coming to the records room.
Right, exactly.
So you're going to contact him and see if he could stay longer and swing by and look at Thornton Street? Is that the
Yep.
plan?
I'll do that. Yep.
Okay, all right.
I mean, but
And,
it's
I'll
clearly a
try to
last
come to
shot.
the records.
Oh, good.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Kathy?
No, go ahead. Were you saying that you are going to come by the records room?
Yeah, that's on Thursday at 3, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to try to come to that.
excellent. That would be great.
Unless something, I'll come unless something comes up with work that I have to absolutely stay and do a project. But if there's no like critical project I have to do, I could carve out
Yeah.
a few hours to come to that.
Yeah,
And
no,
if
that
he
would
does
be great.
go over to Thornton, Street, I'd like to follow and go over there too.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
terrific. All right, so that's our plan for Thursday.
okay.
All right, great. All right, so yeah, I'll get that set up and I'll get back to everybody on his confirmation and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. All right, next order of business. Did everybody get a copy of the letter?
Yes,
Yes, I
it's
did.
excellent.
I didn't get a copy of
I
it.
have,
Oh my.
Janice, I think I sent it to you last week. Would you like me to resend it?
Yes, please. Sorry.
All right, I'm going to do that now because I think it's important for you to have it and look at it while we discuss it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, it is coming over to you now.
Thank you.
Doesn't have a subject line.
Okay, just got it.
Okay. So I think Connie did a really good job editing it and making sure it, the letter didn't get, personal. That we kind of, that we omit a lot of information, well, my rambling, so that we're clear about what we hope to achieve with the select board. So Mike Goddard, is that you?
There's
I'm
nobody
sorry,
new
what?
on the meeting.
Oh, I see an MG on the meeting.
No, you're probably seeing people that were, I don't know, where's the list of people?
All right. So
Just me, 2 people on the phone, you and Lynn.
Yep.
okay, all right. So if we're good to go ahead and send this, I think it might be a good idea to send it to all of the select board members. Do we do it via email? Do we do it via snail mail?
I would send it electronically, and I think I would send it to every board, all the members of the board and David.
And
Um,
David, okay.
And
David
even though
Mock?
she's out, yeah, I would CC Laura, even though she's out. But I would send it to all of them. And then
Um,
perhaps, you know, be prepared. I think we might be prepared to go to a meeting in about a month and just bring it up in open session and say, okay, we sent this letter. We expect a response. But
Right.
maybe
I
I'm
mean,
wrong.
my
they'll
hope is
respond.
that they're going to respond, you know, instead of leaving us in the dark still. Would be really nice to, you know, have a conversation.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a conversation. You know, if that conversation would be better served by happening in executive session, then fine. But I think somehow there needs to be a conversation on, you know, you can't just send a letter like that and then forget all about it and pretend nothing happened.
Right, right,
That's
exactly.
not how this works. So I think we do need to resolve this in some fashion.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think they're just hoping this will just go away and everyone will forget about it. But
right.
that's not really how this works.
And it's just not going to bode well for anybody else that follows, you know.
Yeah.
If there isn't a better situation created for the people that, you know, are trying to do good for this community, and then, you know, you just can't do it. You just can't do what you're doing.
Well, I think it shows just a lack of sensitivity and a lack of planning, you know, on their part, that they take these I mean, I'll be honest with you, I think that they were so bloody lucky that they did it to us. Because if they'd done it to a lot of other people, they'd have had their asses in court by now being sued.
Yeah.
I think so.
You know, and I think they were very lucky that they did it to us, that we kind of were still trusting in that things were going to work, the system was going to work, and it didn't. And so I think what we got to do is say to them, look, you might not want to discuss all this with us or do anything with us, but if you try and do this with any other board or any other outside entity, you are going to be in court like you were with the strip club, and you're going to get sued, and it's going to cost you a shit ton of money. You need to get yourselves organized. You need to answer when people ask questions. You know, they want answers. We need to get answers. That's all.
Yeah,
And if we're not happy with the way they answer, well, at least we got an answer. But you can't go through life making, you know, threats against people and then just cutting them off and all acting mute as if there's something, you know, oh, if we don't discuss it, or oh, this isn't something we can discuss in front of people. Oh, why is that? Why can we not discuss? I still don't understand why we were told we couldn't discuss it, where that even came from.
Yeah.
Well, I think, you know, at a certain point, you certainly have the authority, you take some sort of emergency action, but at a certain point, the select board should have held some sort of discussion as they have on other topics.
Right.
To figure out, you know, if they're going to do an investigation. I would think they would need to vote to hire somebody to do that investigation, you know, whatever needs to happen. It just seems like this letter was sent and then nothing ever happened after it.
No.
If it did, it wasn't done in any posted meeting, at least.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
And, you know, we obviously, I mean, you guys know, we were told that we were going to be interviewed and so on and so forth, which didn't occur. And then, you know, because of the lack of communication and the lack of responding to anything from the commission, you know, we got in some trouble with Mass Historic over the grant. I mean, they were ready to drop us. There were 4 towns that were on the chopping block, and Mendon was one of them because they didn't have their paperwork squared away and their information and
Right.
It was non-responsive, so, there's a lot at risk, you just can't let things like this slide, without tending to them.
No, you can't.
No.
It's
And
not
if they don't-
constitutional.
No. And if they don't have
Yeah,
like a conflict resolution policy and procedures, then they need to get one written up.
Mhm.
So, things like this come up, everyone knows what's the policy and procedure to follow and make sure it's followed,
I agree, Connie.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
All right,
Um,
so
So does
Alright,
that mean
so-
then that you guys are all going to vote to send the letter?
yes.
Is that what you do?
Shall we,
Okay.
shall we take a vote?
I'm okay with, yeah, we should take a vote.
Okay,
Would you like
we
me
have
to
to
make a
make a-
motion?
What, do we make a motion to accept the letter?
I don't know. Do we? Yeah, you know what? Let's do that first. Let's make a motion to accept the letter as written. And I will do that. I move to accept the letter as written to be distributed to the Board of Selectmen, the town administrator, and what's Laura's title?
I don't know, just the executive assistant or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Hey.
All right, so moved. We will submit the letter and
I-
Lynn, you
I
will
thought I
join
heard a
us.
nay. Did I hear a nay to?
It's the
Opposed?
dog.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
He doesn't
Definitely the
vote
dog.
doesn't count.
yeah, the animals think they have a vote here. Can you
Yeah, there you
imagine?
go.
So, Lynn, I would assume that you will be joining us for that meeting.
Oh, yeah, if I'm invited, absolutely.
Absolutely. You will be
Yeah.
invited. All right. All right, is there anything else we want to discuss? We need to discuss?
I don't think so. Just, I mean, in terms of, so I'm not available all of next week.
Oh, that's
so,
just
you
not
know,
satisfactory,
in
Daniel.
terms of meetings. So if you're meeting at night, it was going to have to be the week of the 7th.
Oh, yeah, let's pick a date, although I'm not going to be around on the 7th. What's August look like? July, August. I could do the 14th.
What was the date? We had to get back to Joe by, I thought it was some date in August.
August 7th.
So we've mutually agreed to continue. So I think okay there, but
Okay.
I do think we also can't, we probably shouldn't hold off too much
Yeah,
longer.
I would,
Right.
I think you should really hold off. Get the
Yeah.
information you need and then get the meeting done for him. I mean, you're not going to gain anything unless he wins the lottery. You're not going to gain anything by holding up the process, I think, especially if, people have already made their minds up.
Right. And you know what? I actually can, I can join remotely. I'm just going to be up near Canada. So who knows what
We could do the
happens.
14th. At least I can. I mean, it might be easier just to stay remote. I don't remember if that's planning board or not.
As a guest, I don't know if I'll be able to make that because I'm going over to the UK. And that was when I'm looking at going, but I can try and do it remotely. At least for
Dan,
part
do
of
you
it, if I need to.
Do we want to do the 7th? Or Dan, did you say
Well,
that was
I-
planning board?
Well, I would think sooner than the 14th would be better, making him wait like a couple more weeks would be tough.
Right, right, exactly. I mean, I think he wants to get this zipped up as quickly as
Yeah,
possible.
I want to keep the goodwill. He's been very good about being as trying to work with us and as helpful as he could. And I hate to string him along because really, I don't know if Armand will come up with anything that will help. But I mean, short of someone who will either buy the place or have the place moved off the property and save that way. I mean, I don't know. There's not a lot more options here. So I hate to
Right,
hold them up like 2 weeks, you know.
right. No, I
But
agree with you, Connie.
August
What about
7th is
August 1st?
August 1st. Well,
That's a
I can do the
Tuesday.
7th.
that's
I'm completely unavailable the week of it, that entire week of August,
Okay, so, all right,
unless we meet during the day, like before probably 5 or 4 o'clock, but
yeah, August 1st, I'm booked all day. So I wouldn't be available August 1st, but any other, I'm open to doing it in the middle of the day to help meet Dan's schedule, if other people can do that too,
yeah,
but
I
not
could,
on August 1st.
all right, so what about August 2nd? That's a Wednesday.
Yeah, the Wednesday I could do. What about other members?
I
You
can
talking
do
about Wednesday, the 2nd?
August
Yep.
2nd?
I could do that. What time? 7? Or during the day?
Or during
it
the
would have,
day,
well, so it would have to be before 11:30 or after 12:30, but before like 3 o'clock, I think. Just thinking about potential conflicts that I might run into.
What day did you say? The 2nd? Wednesday, the 2nd?
yeah, Wednesday,
Yeah.
August 2nd.
What about trying 1 o'clock?
I can do 1:30. That is probably the earliest I can get back from work.
And it'll
So-
probably be a short, probably it won't be a long
Would
meeting.
that
anyway,
work?
will it? And then Dan could just leave at 3 if he can't, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a long meeting because all we're gonna really discuss is, if we made any progress with Armando and then, what,
Hey,
how we're gonna handle the permit.
Yeah.
I mean, do people feel confident that after we get some information from Armando, if it's a bust, then we are comfortable making a decision?
I'm comfortable with it. I don't know about the other members.
Yeah,
I think at that point, we either need to vote to issue or not issue a delay, regardless.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, because the reality is, I mean, it's fortunate he's been able to work with us, but I think, we either put a delay on it or let it go at that point. And
So
whether
what time
another
is the
9 months helps, I don't know if it will.
Yeah, I don't honestly think it will, Dan, to be honest. I mean, I think we've got to be realistic, unfortunately.
Maybe Armando can shed some light into what might make it more viable, but that would be ideal.
right. All right, so why don't, I mean, I think if everybody's kind of, feeling like they've got a good amount of information to make a decision as to whether or not we delay or, move forward with the demo, and, once we get some feedback from Armando, if there's not a, viable option, then are we comfortable voting on the 2nd to make that decision?
Yeah,
Yeah, I hear yes.
yeah.
Janice?
Yeah.
All right, okay, and Dan?
Yep.
Dan, you don't have a choice. We don't give you
So-
choices anymore. You just,
Right.
you just run with the
So-
pack.
So
All
we're
right,
gonna
great.
do
So,
the meeting on August 2 at 1:30 PM. Is that what we're proposing?
yes.
All right, I'm gonna
Wednesday-
post it when I go home tonight.
All right, Wednesday, August 2nd at 1:30.
Okay.
All right, excellent.
Does that work for Janice too?
Yeah.
Okay. And that works for you, Dan?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Anything not anticipated?
Nope.
No. All right, Lynn, I have to ask real quick, how's your mom?
Hang on, let's adjourn so we can end the recording.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. I move to adjourn the meeting.
I second it.
Second.
Well, you can't all second it.
You can't all be second. Somebody's got to
Right.
be third.
Wait,
Unanimous
I want to
second.
be first. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
Aye.